Before we start, though, I'd like to introduce Councillor Vanderbeek. She has a couple words she'd like to say.
Good evening. Thank you so much for coming, and I'd like to thank the staff for setting this up. It is a little different this year. I really prefer to do these things in person, as we all do, but this is the next best thing. And the good thing about it is that it will be recorded and you will be able to watch it, or anyone you know who wishes they could watch it will be able to watch it when the meeting is over and it's been posted. So maybe by tomorrow. Yes, Mike? Anyway, I just want to say that I know that it seems like a long time that the road will be closed. It's a very significant project. I know that the road was closed last year and it's frustrating for people, and I'm right there with you. I will do what I can to ease it in any way that I can. We do have some experience with these staff and these projects now. And so the good thing is that we are aware of some of the issues and are trying to deal with them ahead of time. So I'm going to turn the meeting back to Mike and to the staff, and they can get on with the presentation and answering your questions. So once again, thanks so much for taking the time out of your evening tonight to be with us. Mike?
Thanks, Councillor Vanderbeek. Appreciate that. So we'll start our presentation. So again, thank you to everyone. Today we're going to be speaking about the Highway 8 improvements. It's a public information center. Normally we do have this in person, but as Councillor had mentioned, unfortunately we're going to be doing this virtually. But the nice thing is we will be recording it. So to start, we have a quick agenda. We've already had our welcome from the councillor. We'll go through some housekeeping rules. We have some introductions. We'll then dive into the full presentation. Afterwards, we'll go through some questions that we've currently received, as well as any new questions that come up. And then there'll be some closing remarks where we'll end at 8 o'clock. As mentioned, we'll be going through just some quick housekeeping rules. This meeting is being recorded, so just so everyone is aware that it will be recorded. And again, will be posted on the city's YouTube and the website. Now, if you have any questions during the presentation, please jot them down and put them into an email and send them to designservices@hamilton.ca. We're going to be going through the emails as they come in during the presentation, and we'll be doing a first come, first serve with the emails. As I mentioned, the microphones will be muted, and that's to also help out with the presentation moving forward. And as I mentioned, the questions will be taken one at a time in the order that they're received. If your question doesn't get to during the presentation, you'll see that we'll be posting quite a few of the questions on the website afterwards, to especially some of the questions that are repeated. We'll again post frequently asked questions on the city's website. And if you type in a search engine, you can find that it's under City Highway 8 improvements at Hamilton.ca. So introductions. We'd like to get into the introductions. The design team that worked on this project, we have Nader Kadur and Parham Salehi. They are the design team that did the design along with our consultants Wood. Susan Jacob is the manager of design, who's also here, and myself, I'm Mike Beck, the senior project manager of the design section. We also have from our construction section, Jeff Rowan and Matt Spletti. Jeff is the construction project manager, and Matt Spletti will be our inspector on site. Mark Arodi is the manager of construction for the construction section, and Dennis Peruzin is our senior project manager. We also have in attendance staff from the Transportation Operations and Maintenance Group, as well as Traffic Safety. They are Mushfiqur Rahman, Dave Ferguson, Mike Sokol, Christopher Cahill, Daryl Bender, and Peter Tepolovic. So just briefly before we dive into the project, I want to go a little bit over the project limits. So the project, as you can see on the screen, starts from about 80 meters east of Bond Street North on King Street, and then it moves up the hill to about 100 meters west of Woodley's Lane. So that green line that's presented there is showing the actual limits of the construction that we will be working in. There's a little bit of work on Woodley's Lane as well, and that's that little tick you can see to the left of the screen. So we'll move in. I'd like to introduce Nader Kadir, who is the project manager for this project, and he'll give you some explanations and a brief history on the project. One sec, Nader, you're still on mute.
Do you hear me?
There you go.
Okay, thank you, Mike, and good evening, everybody. In my part, I'm going to go over the background information, project scope, communication, permits, and some timing window restrictions. So background and history of this project. The major component of this project scope of work is Spencer Creek bridge replacement. This bridge was constructed back in last century in 1926 and is right now over 90 years old. The bridge underwent rehabilitation work in 2004 for different components. In 2009, bridge condition survey and load evaluation assessment were completed, which found several major deficiencies. Biannual monitoring program has been underway since 2012, and different studies were completed in order to figure out the condition of this bridge, and which confirmed that intensive rehabilitation works are required in order to maintain this bridge operational. Based on the bridge condition, City of Hamilton considered to replace this bridge alongside with the potential of realignment Highway 8. For that, a feasibility study was conducted, and the outcome of the feasibility study were brought forward as part of environmental assessment study, which was conducted to determine the possible relocation of Highway 8 and the best approach in order to replace this bridge. So as part of this study, 4 options were considered. First, do nothing. Second, rehabilitation work, which is very costly. And third one is to replace the bridge in its location with doing some improvement to the alignment. And the fourth one is replacement of the bridge alongside with the realignment of Highway 8. And those 4 options were examined against different criteria and scored. And the overall evaluation of these 4 options and the scoring that each option got it was recommended, and the final recommendation from the study, it was recommended to replace the bridge in its place, in its same location, alongside with some improvement to the alignment. As part of City of Hamilton process for such project, multiple studies were conducted, such as natural heritage inventory, natural heritage characterization report, heritage impact assessment, archaeological assessment, aquatic and terrestrial report also were completed. And based on the recommendation from the EA study, we started work on functional study in order to consider different alternatives for road improvement and what we can add to the proposed scope of work for in order to improve the condition for pedestrian and for mobility and traffic on that highway. While we were moving from functional study to the detailed design, and in October 2019, a road failure occurred. And due to this failure, City decided to conduct a slope stability study for the North Escarpment and South Escarpment in order to ensure that if an improvement is required to be completed. Here, this picture shows the deterioration on the southeast section of the bridge. Here it shows the deterioration on the apartment and the cracks over there. We have more pictures from the monitoring report and other inspections that was completed, but we select those pictures in order to show the condition of this old bridge. Here it is the failure that happened back in October 2019, and it shows that the massive section of this road fall down. And here it shows the railing, the guide rail lost connection, and It's under pressure of this massive asphalt piece. And here it shows where this asphalt was moving down and fall down on the escarpment and cause it wash out of the trees. Reports and investigation. As part of our detailed design, we usually do different reports and investigation in order to get more information to optimize our design. And for that, the following reports were conducted. Geotechnical investigation report. So in order to get more information about soil condition, whether it's soft, hard, there is rock or shale, and also the moisture content as well. And this information we collected helped us in selecting the most appropriate pavement structure. Tree plan inventory investigation. This helped out in order to identify tree type and tree dimension and condition as well as its location. A drainage, hydrology, and fluvial geomorphic assessment was complete as well, and hydrogeological assessment also to get some information about groundwater and its flow. And finally, slope study. That one, this study was completed due to the failure that happened, and the recommendation from that study was brought up as part of the scope of work. Project scope of work. As I mentioned, the major component of this scope of work was the bridge replacement, and due to the failure that happened, an extra work, an extra item was added to the scope of work, as well as based on the city ongoing inspection and assessment of its assets within the project limit. The final scope of work is as follows. So we have road reconstruction from Bond Street north to 100 meters west of Woody's Lane. We have bike lane and shoulder restoration. We have sidewalk replacement in the same exact existing location. We have water main installation and replacement from Bond Street to the node on Woody's Lane. And we have one section, it's a connection from Highway 8 grade to the bottom of the slope where we're connecting to the existing chamber. And this one using the trenchless method. Also, we have storm sewer installation from east of bridge to 80 meters east of Bond Street north to connect to the existing storm network. As well as we have an upsizing and replacement for the existing storm sewer from 100 meters west of Woodley's Lane to west of the bridge. And for reinstalling as well oil grid separator in order to control the water quality before it's being discharged through the outfall. Spencer Creek bridge replacement is the major component, including the associated retaining wall on south west side. Also, slope stability improvement due to the study. We have a recommendation to, in order to improve stability on both sides, and north and south, we're going to install two sections of retaining walls. One on the north side, this section is approximately 100 meters long, and the south side is approximately 85 meters long. And also we have coupled street lighting board needs to be relocation as they are in conflict with our proposed design. Here, this picture shows the feature that we have it. At the intersection of Bond Street and King Street West, we have the four corner AODA. The sidewalk is shown in orange color, which is on the south side, it ends where the soccer field is, and on the north side is extended up to the bridge. Bicycle lane is designated from Bond Street north to east of bridge, and then we have shoulder from the bridge all the way to east of CN Bridge. We have the bridge itself, and we have curb on both sides for the whole stretch except on the bridge location. Communication with internal and external stakeholders. We know the impact of this project and the scope of work of this project on the community. So for that, we started communication process with them in order to inform them about the project scope of work and the road closure as well. And for that, we contacted Hamilton Emergency Medical Services, Hamilton Police Services, and Hamilton Fire Department. That was back in December 2020 to inform them about the project and the road closure. And we contacted them back as well in early January 2021 to provide them with the approved detour route. We also contacted school boards in March in order to inform them about the project and the road closure, and we provided them with the detour route. And also I sent a follow-up email to all of them to inform them about the exact start date of the construction. As part of our communication, also we contacted Bruce Trail and we met with them back in 2019 to inform them about the project and the road closure, and they agreed to close the trail during the construction. And right now they're looking for a different route in order to reroute the Bruce Trail if it's possible, and they're in discussion with different stakeholders. Also, we contacted the Dundas Valley Golf and Curling Club back in spring 2019. We met with them, we explained them the upcoming project and the road closure. And for the golf club, the access will be maintained during the construction, whether from uphill or downhill. And as part of our design work, we contacted utilities company and permitting agencies in order to address any conflict or any restriction that we have with those utilities company or any condition that are required from permitting agencies. Permits approvals obtained for this project. As part of our process, when we were working on the detailed design, we contacted different agencies, ministries, in order to get permits to proceed with this project. And the set of permits is as follows. We got a permit from Hamilton Conservation Authority regarding the outfall and the head wall structure. And we got another second permit for the bridge replacement and associated retaining wall. We got clearance from Niagara Escarpment Commission, and also we got clearance from Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada. We got a permit from Ministry of Environment Conservation and Parks for storm sewer installation. This was obtained previously. Natural Heritage Documentary Report clearance for it. And we got permit from Canadian National Railway in order to allow us to install the storm sewer underneath the bridge. My colleague Jeff Rowan is working on encroachment permit by Ministry of Transportation. We got clearance from Transport Canada Navigable Waters. We got also clearance from Ministry of Heritage, Sport, Tourism and Culture Industries, and one related to the archaeological assessment and the other one related to cultural heritage documentation report for bridge and retaining walls. Land acquisition was required to do the new proposed retaining wall, one on north and other on south side, as well as for the outfall and the head wall on the escarpment. And there's a small portion on the southwest corner of the bridge. Tree removal, including restoration plan, were also approved by Hamilton Conservation Authority and the City of Hamilton Forestry and Horticulture section. The only outstanding permit that we didn't have yet, it's permit to take water. We are in the final stage just due to COVID-19. The approval process is right now longer than usual, but we're in the final stage. We expect to have it before starting of any dewatering work. So construction time restriction. We have two construction regarding timing window, and one regarding in-water work. There's no in-water work shall be completed between March 15 and July 15, and the second one is regarding tree removal. No tree removal shall be completed between the seasonal window from April 1st to September 30th. Now I'm going to pass over to my colleague Baram so he can go over some engineering drawing and provide some details.
Thank you, Nader. So as you guys can see, this slide is the existing conditions of King Street West, Highway 8. So it's from Spencer Creek looking easterly towards Bond Street. So you do have two traffic lanes as existing conditions. There's a sidewalk on north side. There is a sidewalk on the south side which comes from the intersection and goes into Fisher's Mill Park. Now, proposed conditions, we will have 2 traffic lanes. We will have designated bike lanes from Bond Street up to Spencer Creek Bridge. We are going to have the sidewalk replaced in its exact location on the north side, same with the south side, again leading to Fisher's Mill Park. We do have curb and gutter throughout the project. This slide is the existing condition on top of the bridge, Spencer Creek Bridge. Again, 2 traffic lanes, and you have a sidewalk just on the north side. Whereas proposed, we are going to have 2 traffic lanes. We'll have 2 paved shoulders, and we'll have 2 sidewalks, both on south and north side on the bridge. This is the new retaining wall on the north side that we have to construct due to slope stability study. Next slide. This is from Spencer Creek Bridge, looking westerly towards Woodley's Lane. Again, existing conditions. We have 2 traffic lanes and a shoulder on north side. Whereas proposed, we will have 2 traffic lanes, 2 paved shoulders. We'll have curb and gutter throughout the whole project. This is the retaining wall on the north side. We also will have retaining wall on the south side, but because of the trees, you will not be able to see it. But however, they are in the drawings and it will be constructed. This is our bridge general arrangements drawing. So the proposed bridge will have a span of 23 meters. So the cross section on the bridge will be 14.4 meters, so 2 traffic lanes, as mentioned, at 3.6 meters. We have 2 shoulders at 1.5 meters, and we have 2 sidewalks as 2.1 meters each. We have prepared walls on both sides of the bridge, which makes the total cross section to be 15 meters. There is associated retaining walls on the southwest corner, which is shown right here as well. This is our design drawings regarding just the road. So this is the CN bridge. This area is Woodley's Lane. So under the CN bridge, so 100 meters west of Woodley's Lane up to Woodley's Lane, the cross section of the road will remain as existing. We are not widening the road or changing elevations as we needed to obtain the permit from CN. However, from Woodley's Lane moving easterly, as mentioned, the new cross section will have 2 added shoulders. So we'll have 2 traffic lanes and 2 shoulders, curb and gutter on both sides. Next slide is the same slide. It just shows the underground works. So this is the storm sewer identified in green that goes under the CN bridge and continues to west of Spencer Creek Bridge. This is the water main that connects to the node on Woodley's Lane. This is the continuation of the previous slide. So again, this is just roadworks without any underground. So road cross sections, it's still the same. 2 traffic lanes of 3.5, 2 shoulders of 1.5 meters each direction, curb and gutter. This is your bridge location. So at bridge, you will have sidewalks. So those are 2.1 meters each side. And the slide after shows underground work as well. So again, the blue line is the water main works, which the water main will be suspended under the proposed bridge. We have the green line, which indicates the storm sewer and the outfall and headwall structure. So this is the new proposed outfall and headwall structure, which will discharge to Spencer Creek Bridge. Now, the water main that goes through the escarpment will be installed trenchless. So there is a valve chamber on bottom of the escarpment that will connect to the proposed water main and onto the Highway 8 road grade. This slide is the continuation of the previous. Again, this is just road, 2 traffic lanes, 1 on each direction, 3.5 meters. We have bike lanes now dedicated from Bond Street up to Spencer Creek Bridge, which my colleague Daryl Bender will speak in the later slides. The pink indicates the sidewalk, so it is in the exact locations as existing, however, it's just being reconstructed. We do have storm sewer that goes beyond the intersection. So on this slide, this is the water main in blue, and the green indicates the storm sewer. We had to extend the storm sewer 80 meters past Bond Street so we can connect to the existing storm drainage system. So here it will just be road restoration. So this slide talks about the tree removal and tree protection plan. So this is an example, one of our many drawings regarding tree removals. So previously we'd said that there were 140 trees that were going to be removed, and 59 of these trees were already identified as dead or in poor condition. Now, there was a mistake where previously we said 60 trees were going to be replanted because they were considered, some of them, as shrubs. However, our forestry department took a look again, and it is indicated that we're going to plant 140 plus trees. So we're going to have a 1-to-1 ratio, and that was accepted from Hamilton Conservation Authority to obtain the permit. So this is just an example of the restoration plan where the trees will be planted. This is for the bridge. We're going to have one for retaining walls on north side and on the south side as well. And this is an example of the trees that will be planted. We did have some project constraints. So there was utility relocations. So we had on bridge that was suspended by the side on the existing bridge, where now it was decided that they're not going to go under our proposed bridge, so they're rerouting it through King Street. We do have major bell cables on north side of our bridge, so we decided to keep our north side for the proposed bridge the same as existing and shifting it towards south side. And because the road failed in 2019, we had to do a slope stability study, which indicated we required retaining walls both on south and north side. However, because of the major utilities, we had to propose a design for the new retaining wall on north side to go behind our right of way, where we don't have conflicts with utilities, which cost us buying additional land on north side and on south side as well. So I'm going to pass it to our colleague, Jeff Rowan from construction. He is the project manager. He will talk about the construction schedule and the construction regarding this project. So construction schedule, we are going to start basically from, I believe, April 12th until December 2022. So we do have 2 stages. So the first stage will be from 100 meters west of Woodley's Lane to Woodley's Lane. So we will do the storm sewer under the CN bridge, and the second stage will be from Woodley's Lane up to Bond Street, where we have the bridge works, water main, storm sewer, retaining walls. So the road will be closed during the entire construction duration. So there was an avian biologist there regarding the tree removals. We did have time restrictions, as my colleague Nader mentioned. So trees had to be removed before April 1st. So most of the trees have been removed. Some of them are left, which we have to come back after September 30th when the restriction is out. Now, during the first stage of construction, so we do have access to Dundas Valley Golf and Curling Club, which will be from bottom of Highway 8 at Bond Street North. And for the second stage of construction, access will be maintained from top of Highway 8. Now, throughout the entire construction period, there will be access to local properties east of Spencer Creek Bridge, which will be maintained from bottom of Highway 8 and Bond Street North and Park Street West. And we will have local properties west of Spencer Creek Bridge coming from top of Highway 8 Hill. So we have Detour Routes, which I can pass to Chris Cahill, if he can talk about this, our colleague from City of Hamilton.
Good evening, everybody. So I guess, yeah, Jeff was going to speak to this, but he's having some issues. So there's 4 detour routes that are set up. They're generally going to travel to the east. We're accessing York Road to Highway 6 and then to Highway 5 and to Brock Road to get back into the neighborhoods at the north or the top of the hill. Going to the from the west of the closure, you would travel on Highway 8 or Highway 5 to Highway 52 and then to Highway 99 back into Dundas, and the reverse if you were trying to get from Dundas into the Greensville area. So this is the second detour route. Sorry, I was looking at the other map. So this one's going to travel westbound on Highway 99, and then up Highway 52 there to into accessing the roundabout there up at 5 and 52. Detour Route 3 will traveling from Dundas, or west of the closure, sorry, east of the closure, up York Road, and then to Highway 6, Highway 52, and then sorry, Highway 5, and then back down Brock Road into the Greensville area. And then Detour Route 4 is just the reverse of that, from trying to get back into the Dundas area west of the closure from Greensville. So I'll go travel north on Brock Road, east on Highway 5, then south on 6, and then west back on York Road into the lower part in the Dundas area. I'll pass this over to Daryl Bender to speak to the Detour Route for cycling.
Good evening, everyone. Daryl Bender here. So the Detour for cycling, basically there's going to be all kinds of signage at the top of the hill in the Greensville area, directing all traffic to head north on Brock Road. And then for cyclists, we're telling the cyclists to follow the Greenbelt route, which is Harvest Road. That will take them easterly towards Sydenham, and then that makes the connection back down into Dundas. And in the opposite direction, cyclists in the downtown area, we're putting up signage at the two intersections of King and Market and at Hatton Market. So those are existing signed bicycle routes. So we're saying at those locations for any cyclists to venture easterly, just basically notifying them that King Street is closed at the escarpment. And then the other comment that we wanted to add with regards to the cycling is you've already seen the images. Parham has showed you those pictures as to what the finished product will look like. But those decisions were basically drawn from the city's cycling master plan. The current version of the city's cycling master plan is 2018. And so you can see in that red circle there that the black line indicates that portion of the project that will be paved shoulders, essentially because it'll be shared with pedestrian access through there. And then the blue within that red circle, that is the bicycle lanes. And those bicycle lanes will be dedicated for cycling use between the bridge and Bond Street, because there's the parallel sidewalk. And this slide just basically repeats again what I had shown in the previous slide with regard to the black background showing the detours, that on Greensville above the escarpment, the direction of routing is onto the Greenbelt route on Harvest, and then in the lower city, the signage at the intersection of Hatton Market, indicated by that yellow circle, directing cyclists to not expect to proceed and use King Street and Highway 8 as an access to the escarpment.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. What's listed currently is the contact information. There is some direct lines if you need to access further questions as construction starts.